So I've already posted a video on my channel showing off my 3770K with the GTX 680s and SLI and the rig that I've got set up at the moment. And I showed off Prime 95 running for about half an hour on my 3770K overclock at 4.6 GHz, and how the temperature was going up to about the 80s, low 80s. I think I had it on my machine. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show. So this is my machine at the moment. These are the settings I have for the 4.6 GHz overclock. And here you can see that I've got the two 680s in operation at the moment. They're not overclocked in any way. And here's CPU Z. CPU is downclocked at the moment, but I'll just run Prime quickly just to show you that the core speed does go up. An excellent program that you should probably check out is a program called CPU ID Hardware Monitor Pro. I recommend everybody go and buy that if you're into any kind of overclocking and monitoring your system. There you go, you can see the idle temps at the moment of the 3770K and the graphics cards, seeing what they're doing. The main thing I like about this program is network and listening mode. If you enable that, you can run the program again on another machine. So I have it on my laptop here beside me. So while I'm playing games, etc., I can keep an eye on the temperatures of the 3770K and my graphics cards and everything else. So when I'm playing with an overclock, I can easily see what's going on. So in this instance, so you can see the temperatures are idling at the moment. I'm going to quickly set off Prime. We'll see the core speed will rise from 1.6 gigahertz, there you go, up to 4.6 gigahertz. Prime is off, temperatures have risen already up into the mid 60s on the 3770, and we'll see on my laptop again, there's the temperatures rising as well, as it shows it in real time. So very good program. So what I'm going to do in this video is show a series of games: Battlefield 3, Dirt 3, Crysis 2 and Grand Theft Auto 4, and I'm just going to run benchmarks or do some gameplay videos, etc., and just keep an eye on the actual temps. So we knew that, like I said at the beginning of this video, Prime 95 sends it up into the 80s in my particular rig with this 4.6 GHz overclock, and what I want to do is just check out real world gameplay, which at the end of the day is what we're all going to be doing. We're not going to be sat there Prime 95 for hours and hours and hours. And I'm going to show real world gameplay and show what that's actually going to be like on temperatures of the Intel Ivy Bridge 3770K. Okay, so let's start. Right, so the first game we're going to play is Battlefield 3 multiplayer. There you go, there's your cores, etc. Low 20s, low 30s, high 20s, low 30s. Same again, showing on the laptop, high 20s, low 30s. Zoom in a bit. And okay, we're going to do, people say the 64 player Caspian border is the kind of one to look for as a good test. So looking at this, 56 players involved. Let's just join the server if we can. Launching Battlefield 3. Okay. So I am running it across 3 screens. You'll see the counter will go up and down. I'll try and show the frame rates as we go through the game. Turn the volume up a little bit. This takes a little bit of time to load up. Let's go and look at the temperatures as we're loading. So you can see the actual max temp has risen up into the high 50s, low 60s. It's currently just sit there idling at the moment while the game loads. It takes a bit of time to load for some reason. There we go. Okay, let me quickly show you the options I'm running at for video. So 6110 by 1080, 120 Hz, everything ultra apart from anti-aliasing, which is off at the moment. I've got FXA enabled for this in the video control panel. and frames per second in this particular instance 52. And let's have a look at our temperatures. Okay, so let's just get in and just try some gameplay. And deploy. And just to make sure there you go, it's quite a big map, it's obviously nearly full. And I'm moving around, and frame rates up here, so you can see 60s, pretty good. I can't really run, no I can. I'm gonna get shot because I'm not aiming really well. I'm trying to play this on a joypad with one hand. Doesn't really work very well. You see it's across the 3 screens. Somebody's going to drive a tank over me if I'm not careful. Let's look at the temps while I'm doing this. Oh, he stole my plane. You bastard. I mean, that's hardly anything. 50s, middle 50s. Ooh. I haven't played this map before yet, so I'm not entirely sure where I'm supposed to go. Yeah, this way, obviously. Again, there's the fraps counter. Yeah, you've seen pretty much all the effects, the water effects. Everything's looking pretty damn nice, to be honest. A bit lower on the frame rate, down to mid 50s, but still low 50s. Not really a problem. Again, the CPU is taking this, no problem. Somebody's got a tank, he's probably going to kill me. I'm going to play this until I get killed, and then I'll try a different game. Low 50s, high 40s as I'm getting into the map. There's a guy there, but I can't shoot him. Maybe I can sneak up behind him. I can't even shoot because I'm on one hand. Let's follow them for fun. Again, you can see the fraps counter. Pretty good. And I'm dead. There we go. He killed me. And there you go. So there's some Battlefield 3, 64 player Caspian border, 4.6 gigahertz, and I think that's pretty tells it all about the 3770. So we'll try something else. Now we're going to try some Dirt 3, and I'll go into a multiplayer game and then spectate. So let's just start up Dirt 3. Again, here we go. You can see I've reset the settings on the on CPU monitor. So we're in the 30s, 40s at the moment. Game is loading up. Again, I'm going to play across 3 screens. I'll tell you what, I'll run the benchmark. That's probably the easiest way of doing it. Okay, so options. There you go, 6110 by 1080, 4x MSIA, 60 Hz refresh, VSync is on in this one, everything's maxed out, as high as it can go. And let's just have a quick look at the core temps at the moment. You can see it's gone up to the high 50s again, low 60s. Let's run the benchmark. Again, you can see I've got the fraps counter up here in the corner as the game just loads up. I've done plenty of videos online of the different NVIDIA surround setup, video, gameplay videos, etc. So I'm not really going to concentrate too much. I'll try and concentrate on the main screen really, and then show the fraps counter on here on the side. You can see it's pretty much locked at 60 at the moment. And that ain't changing. Let's have a look at the CPU temps. You can also see the GPU temps, I suppose, actually, as well. If I move this down a little bit. 68 degrees, 74 degrees. CPU temps, mid-50s. Again, 4.6 gigahertz overclock. Gameplay, you know, prime and everything else, we'll push these up, this particular temperature up into the 80s, but gameplay, nothing really, low 60s the highest so far anyway. Still locked at 60 on the frame rate. There we go. I think that says a lot as well. That's the end of the benchmark for Dirt 3. If you're interested in the results, there's the result. 56, sorry, is the minimum frames per second. And there's the temperatures. Okay, thanks, and we'll go to the next game. I'm going to show you is Crysis 2. There you go, there's the cores reset again. Which I can zoom in on, and you can see it on the laptop as well. So I'm just going to start Crysis 2 from within Steam. Yeah, achieve your CryEngine, whatever.
Achieved with CryEngine 3.
There's the core temperatures of the CPU as it's loading. Nothing particularly special in that, I guess. Okay, so logging into this Crysis portal. Okay, just to show you what we're running at. Again, we're across 3 screens. 6110 by 1080, full screen VSync. I'm using the DX11 enabled with the high-res texture mod, and the system spec is set to extreme on this game. If I set it to ultra, it works fine, but temps go down to the fans sorry, the frames per second go down to about 45 frames per second to 50 frames per second. If I leave it on extreme, I'm typically around 60 or above, so I tend to leave it at that. I haven't really noticed that much difference between the two varieties, to be honest, myself anyway. So I'm going to go into single player. I'm just going to resume. You can see the temperatures. Okay, so I just had to kill a bad guy there. I'm getting killed now. So I'm looking around. Let's see, there's my actual frames per second at the moment, 60. Yeah. We'll go up and down as I get shot. There you go, 59. Seeing some bad guys. I can't shoot because obviously I'm using the controller at the moment on one hand. But let's have a look at the temperatures of the CPU. And again, common theme here really, nothing. High 50s, low 60s, 4.6 gigahertz. Absolutely maxing out Crysis 2. I'm gonna go and get shot, so I'll get killed here. He's gonna see me. Maybe. Typical dumb AI of this game. Let's go and try and shoot. And I'm dead. Okay. And yeah, I mean, that says it all really. That's Crysis 2. I'm gonna get shot here in a second. This is what I just cleared a minute ago. So that's Crysis 2. So the final video I'm going to show in this series is Grand Theft Auto 4. It's a pretty poorly ported game to the PC, but it's quite CPU intensive, so let's see if it does anything. Again, we've got our temperatures all lowered out, as you can see, and the laptop is linked in as well, so you can see my GTX 680s, and there's the processor for the 3770K. So let's start this up. Play. Now, as I said, this game is a particularly bad port. I'm not too sure. You can chuck as many graphics cards as you like at this game. It will make sod all difference, really, to be honest. At least in my experience. It's all about the CPU. But I have in the past noticed that even with latest CPUs, when you throw a lot of power at them, it just doesn't make any difference. I think the game is so poorly coded it doesn't even take advantage of some of the power that the new CPUs have. What I'm hoping to maybe see is the game actually just push the temperatures of the CPU up to a little bit higher than what we were seeing in Battlefield and Crysis and Dirt. I'm not too sure whether that's going to happen or not, but anyway. So, as you can see again, I'm playing across the 3 screens. And let's go into the options. So there you go, there's the graphics settings. 6110, 1080. And let's go and run the benchmark. Let's max that out as well. Why is that on high? Right, okay. Very high. Okay, let's apply that and run the benchmark. Give you an idea of how poorly this game really is ported. I'm going to run the tool. A bit bright. And again, there's a CPU, Temps as it stands. Nothing to worry about. I mean, look at the max, it's low 50s at the moment. But to give you an idea of how poorly this game is I'm going to concentrate a little bit on the frames per second we're going to see during the actual benchmark process, and then the gameplay process. So we're loading the benchmark at the moment. Takes a little bit of time. Let's watch our temperatures maybe change as the benchmark starts, if and when it does start. There we go, sound has gone off, so it must be nearly starting. Right, so now it's on. Temperatures are moving up, but nothing particularly special. Anyway, here's the benchmark running. Look at the let's have a look at the frames per second. So lowest there was 45 a minute ago, or a second ago. In the 60s, I think that will go back down again. There you go, 42 I think we saw there. .42 again. And there it goes. So I think the lowest we saw was about 42. Let's have a look at the temperatures. Again, nothing to write home about. It's barely doing anything on the actual core, even though it's overclocked to 4.6 gigahertz. I'm just gonna let the game actually get into the game itself. So we saw the benchmark, the lowest on the benchmark was 42 frames per second. Let's get this game up and running into actual Nico Bellic's apartment. Alright, so we're now inside the apartment and running at 130 frames per second. Sounds great. Let's walk him outside. Down to the 50s now as I approach the door. 48. So we're at 49, just at his door. Don't answer the phone. I'm going to walk through the door and watch that frame rate just drop. 29. Just by walking outside. 9 people on the road. 28. I mean, the game's playable. It's obviously playable. It doesn't exactly seem like it's not smooth, but 28 frames per second is a bit low, especially in the hardware that we're running on this. But let's have a look at the CPU temps. So there you go, mid gameplay, walking around, frame rate quite low, CPU is doing nothing, absolutely nothing. Just shows how poorly this game is really ported. But again, it highlights the fact that even at 4.6 gigahertz overclock on the 3770K, you know, the temps in gameplay, yeah, sure, if I'm running a synthetic benchmark, it's going to shove it up into the 80s or 90s in my, you know, the 80s I think in my case. But during gameplay, we're in the mid 60s at the highest, I think, so nothing to really worry about. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hopefully this might be useful to some people, and please rate and subscribe. Thank you.